Hello students. Now today in this session we will be looking at bioremediation, which is a part of soil pollution chapter. Okay. Now when we talk about bioremediation, okay, so you know that there is a lot of pollution which is occurring outside. Okay. So in order to control that pollution, there can be biological agents which can be used. That's why it is called as bio. Okay. And remediation means it's a process. Okay, what steps are we doing to improve the quality of the life that we are living in? Okay, using biological agents. Okay, right. So bioremediation is actually a biotechnological process. Okay, biotechnical process or biotechnological process, whatever it is the same. Okay, now bioremediation is a biotechnical process which abates or cleans up contamination. So as you can see in this picture here, there is a contamination cleaning which is occurring. Whatever contamination is there, it is getting cleaned up by this bioremediation. Okay. Now, it is a type of waste management technique which involves the use of organisms. So this is very, very important. Bioremediation involves the use of organisms to remove or utilize the pollutants from a polluted area. So this is a polluted area here, as you can see, this is a polluted area. Okay. And you can see by the process of bioremediation, we have removed the pollutants. Okay, right? Now bioremediation is different as it uses no toxic chemicals. So there are no toxic chemicals in bioremediation. Okay, right? So we'll get back to this picture once I am done with the explanation. Now, microorganisms like bacteria and fungi are the main role player when it comes to executing the process of bioremediation. So microorganisms like bacteria and fungi. So bacteria and fungi, they play a major role in the process of bioremediation. Okay, and the main role player when it comes to executing process of bioremediation. That's what I just said now. Now, bacteria are the most crucial microbes in this process as they break down the waste into nutrients and organic matter. Okay, so they break down the waste into nutrients and organic matter. Okay, so bacteria, they play a very, very major role here. Okay, now even though this is an efficient process of waste management, but bioremediation cannot destroy 100% contaminants. So this is a small glitch in this process. Okay, now it cannot destroy 100% contaminants. So these microbes, they cannot destroy 100% contaminants which they are encountering. Okay, so basically what happens, bacteria, it can digest contaminants like pesticides and all, okay, or clean oil spills. Okay, so it can digest chlorinated pesticides and oil spills. Okay, right, but it cannot destroy heavy metals. Heavy metals it cannot destroy. So you know that from industries there are some heavy metals which come. So bacteria cannot destroy these heavy metals. So there has to be some other way through which these things have to be digested or neutralized. All right. Now, so that is why they say that bioremediation is not a foolproof 100% process. Okay. Now, in this bioremediation process, what is happening? The microbes are getting injected into the soil. Okay. So this is the place where there is total contamination occurring. Okay, right? And you can see here, even the rain gets contaminated because the vapors are going up, and they are the water vapor is going up because of the contamination. Then what is happening there? It is getting condensed to water droplets and coming down as acid rain. Okay, right? So bioremediation, what does it do? See, you have contaminants in the soil. Okay, you have these contaminants in the soil, and microbes are injected into the soil. Okay, when microbes are injected into the soil, what are they doing? They are breaking down these contaminants into oxygen and nutrients. Okay, right? And these nutrients and oxygen and carbon dioxide is the carbon dioxide is released out and oxygen is coming inside. Okay, and this is entering back into the atmosphere, which is the recovery. Okay, and because this recovery is occurring, this land becomes more fertile and it becomes more sustainable for life. As you can see here, there is no sustainability possible in this particular area, but after the bioremediation you will have this kind of a picture. Okay, but it is not foolproof guarantee that you will not have heavy metals. So bioremediation process, as I said earlier, cannot disintegrate, or the bacteria which are involved in bioremediation cannot digest the heavy metals like lead, okay, and cadmium. Okay, right. Moving on to the types of bioremediation. So when I say types of bioremediation, bioremediation is of three types. First one is biostimulation, second one is bioaugmentation, and the third one is intrinsic bioremediation. Okay, so we'll look at these one by one. So what is biostimulation? Now when we talk stimulation, when you talk about the name stimulation, that means what? In this biostimulation, the bacteria is stimulated to initiate the process. So bacteria, whatever is there, it has to be stimulated to initiate the process of bioremediation. Now the contaminated soil is first mixed with special nutrient substances including other vital components, either in the form of liquid or gas. Okay, so the contaminated soil is first mixed with special nutrients, okay, nutrient substances including other vital components. So for the growth of bacteria to occur, you need a stimulus. Okay, so that stimulus is mixed with the contaminated soil and then it is injected into the it is injected either in the form of liquid or a gas. Okay, then it stimulates the growth of microbes, thus resulting in efficient and quick removal of contaminants by the microbes and other bacteria. Okay, right? So we are actually stimulating the organism in biostimulation. Okay, right, in the form of a liquid or in the form of a gas. Okay, so once they are stimulated, they will do their work. They will have a quick removal of the contaminants which are there. They'll start breaking down those contaminants, and finally what will happen over there, that whatever place is there which is contaminated, it will become rich in nutrients again. Okay, then you have the second type of bioremediation, which is bioaugmentation. So when I say augmentation, there are certain sites where microorganisms are required to extract the contaminants. For example, municipal waste water. In these special cases, the process of bioaugmentation is used. There's only one major drawback in this process. It almost becomes impossible to control the growth of microorganisms in the process of removing the particular contaminants. So bioaugmentation is what? There are certain places where microorganisms are required to extract the contaminants whatever are there in the particular water. Okay, so generally municipal wastewater. Now this bioaugmentation technique is majorly followed in wastewater treatment plants. Okay, right. So near the Hussain Sagar, there are in Hyderabad there are 3 wastewater management plants, okay, which are spread across Hussain Sagar at strategic positions. So they treat different wastes which are coming into the lake. Okay, and then they release that fresh water back into the lake again. Okay, so in that wastewater treatment plant, you can see bioaugmentation process occurring. Okay, right. So that means what are they doing in this? They are using microorganisms to extract the contaminants which is there in that particular waste. Okay, but the only drawback in this process is, though the contaminant is extracted, the microorganisms growth cannot be controlled. Okay, they will grow continuously because they are getting continuous nutrients. All right, now moving on to the third, that is intrinsic bioremediation. Okay, I'll just read this so that you'll understand. In that, the first point is, the process of intrinsic bioremediation is most effective in the soil and water because of 2 biomes which always have high probability of being full of contaminants and toxins. So, intrinsic bioremediation is majorly looked at in soil and water. Okay, it is looked at in soil and water. Okay, now these are the two biomes. Biomes, you know what biomes are? They are basically an area of where there is sustainability of life possible. Okay, right? So the process of intrinsic bioremediation looks at these two areas majorly. Okay, that is there is a high probability of contaminants and toxin in this particular two regions, that is soil and water. Okay, now moving on, the process of intrinsic bioremediation is mostly used in underground places like underground petroleum tanks. Okay, for underground petroleum tanks, this process of bioremediation is used. Okay, now in such places it is difficult to detect a leakage. Okay, so if there is a leakage, it is very difficult to detect. Okay, and contaminants and whatever toxins are there, if there is a leakage, then they will spread and they enter through these leaks and contaminate the petrol. So if it is manufacture of petrol and there is a leak, then these contaminants will enter into the petrol. Thus, only microorganisms can remove the toxins and clean the tanks. So microorganisms, once they are put into the tank, if there is a leakage, then what happens? These microorganisms will start eating up those contaminants. Okay, so that is basically why it is called as intrinsic bioremediation. Okay, now moving on, you have the next one. Okay, now this is not the type of bioremediation that we have seen, the three types of bioremediation, that is biostimulation, bioaugmentation and intrinsic bioremediation. Now this remediation, this is phytoremediation. Phyto means plant. Okay, and remediation already you know. Okay, what are the remedies that should be taken when we are doing phytoremediation? Okay, so using a plant to remove the contaminants, that's what is phytoremediation. Okay, now in this technique, plants are directly used to clean up the contaminants in the soil. So plants are basically directly used to remove the contaminants in the soil. Okay, now this method of bioremediation will help mitigate the environmental problem without the need to excavate the contaminant material to dispose of elsewhere. Okay, so what is happening here when you are planting the plant here? Okay, now you have rhizofiltration. So you have rhizobium bacteria here, which is fixing the atmospheric nitrogen. Then you have phytostabilization. Phytostabilization means phytostabilization is nothing but the nutrients are getting neutralized, they are stabilized, the contaminants are stabilized. Then you have stimulation here, you have the phytostimulations. Phytostimulation means what? Those nutrients are actually stimulated, and obviously when they are going up, they will enter into the plant, because when you water, the root sucks up the water and all these pollutants whatever are there in the soil, they will get absorbed. Okay, first one is rhizofiltration, then you have phytostabilization, okay, and then you have phytostimulation. So all these here you are using only plant for the removal of the contaminants. Okay, right? Then you have phytodegradation. So in the plant itself, once it performs photosynthesis, these nutrients are degraded by the plant in the process of photosynthesis itself. Then phytovolatilization. Phytovolatilization means the contaminants are just removed out into the atmosphere through the process of transpiration. And phytoextraction. Now what is this phytoextraction? These contaminants are getting exposed, or they are getting extracted out into the atmosphere, and once they are neutralized, then only they are getting extracted out into the atmosphere. All right, so this is basically what is phytoremediation. Okay, so I'll just read it once again so that you'll understand. In this technique, plants are directly used to clean up or contain contaminants in the soil. Okay, plants directly we are using them. Okay, now this method of bioremediation will help mitigate the environmental problem without the need to excavate the contaminant material and dispose it off elsewhere. So, when you are using phytoremediation, you do not have to remove that waste from that particular place. Okay? You just have to put a plant and they will grow over there and they will perform all these processes: rhizofiltration, photostabilization, then you have photostimulation, photoextraction, then photodegradation. Sorry, I am so sorry, it is phyto in all the cases. I am so sorry for this. Okay, it is phytostabilization, then you have rhizofiltration, phytostimulation, then you have phytoextraction, then you have photovolatilization, and then you have phytodegradation. Okay, so I am so sorry, I am calling it as photo again. I am so sorry, it is phyto here. Okay, right? So these are basically this is basically the process of bioremediation, wherein you are using microorganisms to actually clean up the environment. It's a biological process, but it's not 100% foolproof. Okay, right? But it is a very, very effective process. Okay, right? So we have seen the types of bioremediation. Okay, right? We have seen the types of bioremediation: biostimulation, bioaugmentation, then intrinsic bioremediation, and then we have also seen phytoremediation. So I hope that you have understood this class very well. I'll see you in the next session. Thank you so much.